Hello again, geometry friends. This is our last section in chapter 7, and today we're talking about parts of similar triangles. So we have special segments that we have for similar triangles, and we've talked about these a little bit before. Altitudes, angle bisectors, and medians. And here's what happens. When two triangles are similar, then that means the corresponding altitudes, angle bisectors, and medians are proportional to the corresponding sides. Okay, let me show you how this works. So here we've got two triangles and they're similar. So we're going to find x. But first of all, what is x? Well, it's right there. We know that x is a perpendicular bisector, okay, because it hits this side of the triangle at a 90-degree angle and cuts it in half. So we know that's a perpendicular bisector. And so its partner in the other triangle is 22. And then what we know is that 22 and 7 and x and 5.25, we can use those to set up a proportion, looking like this. 22 partners with x, 22 over x equals 7 over 5.25. And of course, we cross multiply to solve for x. So 7x equals 115.5, so x equals 16.5. That's the perpendicular bisector. Another one of our special segments in triangles is this one. So x, what is that one? It starts at a vertex, hits the middle of the opposite side. That means x is a median. It's not a perpendicular bisector because it doesn't hit at a 90-degree angle. And its partner is 33. So now we can set up our proportions. We can say 33 over x equals 15 over 10. 15 and 10 are partners. And then, of course, we cross multiply. So 15x equals 330, and x equals 22. Here we go for another one. So this time, our special segment in the triangle, it's not x, but what is that? What is that 10? That is an altitude, because it starts at a vertex and goes straight down and hits at a 90-degree angle. Now, we don't know if it's a perpendicular bisector because we don't know if it's hitting that opposite side and cutting it in half or not. So we're just going to call it an altitude. And it partners with the 20 and the other triangle. And now we can set up our proportions. 20 over 10 equals 22 over x. Cross multiply, 220 equals 2x, and divide. So x equals 11. This one's a little bit more complicated. It says if triangle ABC is similar to triangle MNP and AD is an altitude of ABC. Okay, let's just draw that in right quick. So AD, that's the altitude, and MQ is an altitude of MNP. Okay, so there's the altitude there. And then we have AB equals 24 and AD equals 14. And then MQ equals 10.5, and we need to find MN. So do you see how sometimes all those words can get super like overwhelming? But if you just fill in the information as you see it, it's not so bad because now we've just got these two triangles and we can set up a proportion to solve. So don't be nervous by a lot of words. I know they get overwhelming. So 24 over x equals 14 over 10.5, cross multiply. 14x equals 252, and x equals 18. Okay, this is a little bit of a different take, the triangle bisector theorem. This is working with angle bisectors, and an angle bisector in the triangle separates the opposite side into two segments that are proportional to the lengths of the other two sides. Okay, let's see how that works. So here's a triangle, and we know that this yellow line here is an angle bisector because we've got these congruent angles here. And so let's see, this yellow line separates it into two triangles, and we've got 20 and 7, and we have 24 and x. And those are our proportions. We're kind of staying within the triangles this time. So 20 over 7 equals 24 over x, cross multiply, 20x equals 168. Divide both sides by 20, x equals 8.4. All right, see if you can do this one on your own. Just pause the video for a moment, and then we'll come back and see how you did. Okay, so this yellow line here, that's our angle bisector, and it cuts it into two triangles. So we've got 20 and, what is that? Okay, what is this? We've got 28, and this is x. So that makes it harder to find what this number is right here. We don't really know, so what we're going to call that is 28 minus x for now. Okay, we'll be able to fill that in a little bit more later. And on the other side, we've got 30, which partners with x. And here we go with our proportions, right? 30 over x equals 20 over 28 minus x. And now we cross multiply. So 30 times the quantity, 28 minus x, equals 20x. Distribute that 30 through. 840 minus 30x equals 20x. We'll add that 30x to both sides. 840 equals 50x. Divide both sides by 50, and you get x equals 16.8. And there we go. That's the end of chapter 7. Thanks for being here.